do you think the outcome can be? I mean, predict something for the teams.
First of all, you can see regarding the camp, we've reduced the numbers in early part of the camp, and this is mainly because the guys playing a lot of cricket in the DPL, which has been a tough competition in searing heat. So they're quite tired, fatigued. They need that tiny little break. I would have loved to have done lots of skill work with them, but because the domestic competition, which is now finished, they needed a few days at least, because very long time, Ireland and World Cup. So we reduced the camp, we concentrate on the guys who are quite fresh, and that's gone quite well. It's surprising when less numbers, you get a lot of work done. We're going to have 2 days with a lot of the guys together, and I think that'll be quite a tough 2 days, and I think by the time we play the proper game in Ireland on the 7th, then we will be ready. We'll be ready. Regarding the form, New Zealand was disappointing, and you know, we didn't really turn up there. We had a good performances from Mitten, and Samir got a good 100, which was nice to take away, but we didn't play our best, and maybe we're saving our best till later. But again, the boys were tired. They were on the back of a BPL, and please believe me, it's difficult for players to keep playing day in, day out, day in, day out. It is very difficult. So my job is to try and freshen up when I can, and hopefully a few days off will freshen up those players, and certainly Riyad and Tamim and Mushfiqur, and now Fiz and Rubel have got some little injuries, but they're freshening up, which is a good sign, and that's 5 of our better players, so that's good signs. And so I mean, let's be brutally honest. There's some very good teams going to the World Cup, and for Bangladesh to do well will be tough. But I do know that a lot of these countries respect Bangladesh cricket, and they know that if they're not on their game, if they have an off day, even if they play well, they know Bangladesh are capable of beating sides. And we've proved that in the past. You know, before I arrived here, we got through Champions Trophy, beat some good teams, and also we've beaten the West Indies a couple of series. So, you know, we are a side that can beat the top teams, but we also know we have to play our best. And I think that has to be our message for our teams, is that if we really do want to go far, we want to get through to the knockout stages, then we really have to play at our best for a lot of those games to get qualification. Are we capable? Yes. Well, I see the Tri-Series in Ireland as still potential build-up for the World Cup. So I don't just see what we do here as our preparation. This is part of it. ODI cricket, this is still one-day internationals against Ireland and West Indies, so very important. But it gives us an opportunity to mix and match a little bit of the team. Tamim spoke to you guys and talked along these lines. Rest an odd player here and there, give somebody a chance, okay, give them some experience. Hopefully win games, because that would be a great tournament to win as well, the Tri-Series. But this is all part of the preparation phase. This is all part, we'll go to Ireland wanting to win, but this is still part of the preparation phase, because we all know that when we get to the World Cup, there's 10 teams want to win it, and we'll be one of those teams.
Steve, since returning from injury, Saqib hasn't played very little cricket. So is it an area of concern for you?
Well, that's one of the reasons I was hoping that Saqib would stay actually in India and get a game or two. It's a risk, but I was hoping he could get 2-3 games maybe now and play for the Sunrisers and get some cricket. I was a little bit concerned he might not be getting the practice, but he's getting the practice. And also when I watched him on TV, I actually messaged him yesterday because I thought he looked very sharp, he looked fit, and he looked quick. In the field he looked quick to the ball. That's always a good sign for Saqib. So I'm quite happy. I just hope they play him another couple of games, because you are correct. You know, even one of the best all-rounders in the world needs some game time, otherwise a little bit rusty. But no, I'm quite pleased, because there's two things that are happening with Saqib. One, he's being starved of cricket. And when you're starved of cricket and you're used to playing a lot, then you get hungry. You get hungry for cricket. And I think that's a good thing for us going in, for Bangladesh going to the World Cup. The other good thing for Saqib is that he's been left out of the Sunrisers team. And he will have a lot to prove on the big stage. So when he plays against those international teams, he will be wanting to impress them and prove people wrong for not playing in the T20 in the IPL. You understand? So I think there's some good reasons what's happening with Saqib, and I think we will benefit, Bangladesh, hopefully. No, it's far more difficult for bowlers in England. Once you get over an over or two of a tiny bit of swing, the wickets are flat, and it's difficult for bowlers. So the sides that can bowl people out, great. There's different ways of bowling people out, trying to keep control and building up pressure, or magic balls and brilliant bowlers. Our style is to try and contain and try and squeeze and pick up wickets that way. As far as our batting is concerned, yes, we may need to score some bigger totals, but it's a lot easier to do that in England. The outfields fly so fast, the outfields, especially with some good weather around. And the wickets nowadays are generally flat, but come onto the bat, quick enough to come onto the bat for good shots. So this is why you see big scores in England. This is why you see domestic big scores in England. And I think that once we get used to that, I think we've got no problem. We can chase some big scores. It's just difficult that we sometimes think of Merpor playing Merpor. It's totally different. People will look at the Bangladesh squad and think, oh, there's some experience there. You know, the one thing they do have, we've got players who've been to World Cups before and lots of one-day international experience under their belt. I actually think that's a really good thing. But I think that, you know, for a few players, the time is now. If we're going to do well in the World Cup, I think hopefully, with all the experience we have, it should be this coming World Cup.
A senior campaigner, Imran is missing out in the World Cup squad. What was actually the purpose or reason that he failed to meet your expectation or something else?
Yeah, I'm really pleased that you brought up Imran, because I think it's really important to put the record straight. What we're trying to do here in Bangladesh is get really top quality players and have a depth. If we can get a depth of top quality players, not just 4 or 5, more, then we'll be in a good position. I think we've got some good domestic players, but Imran is a top player. Imran is a terrific cricketer, a good international cricketer, and he's not part of the squad. If he's not part of the squad, that means that the ones we are taking must be good cricketers too. Must be good. So we're leaving behind a very good cricketer. It means we're starting to get some good depth in our selection. It also means if we need Imran for any reason, be injury or whatever, we know what he can do and he can come in. But there's other good players we're leaving behind, and you know the names. And Imran's one of them. And Imran's missed out, but he could very easily have gone. But he's missed out. And if we leave good players behind, we must have good players going. I think some of the advantages I may have is my relationships with curators, my relationship with coaches at some of the grounds we play on, my own experience of coaching and playing on some of those grounds. Some grounds you have certain little funny shapes where you've got to maximise. Certain grounds on certain days the wicket behaves slightly differently, and you need to know those things. I know quite a lot of those things, luckily enough. Will that be enough to make a big difference? I still think it's all down to the players. The players are the ones out there with the bat and ball in their hand. It's still up to them to produce the goods. But if I can help a little bit because of my knowledge of England, then that would be a good thing. But other people who are non-English, they know England very well as well. So we will gain a small advantage in some of my knowledge, but the main thing is to perform on the field, and that's the players.
Steve, Courtney spoke to the media first day of the practice session, and he gave us the impression there might be certain changes regarding the injuries of the pace bowlers. You might consider to rotate the pacers. And is there any plan to include few more pacers like Taskin and other to adopt his rotation policy?
Yeah, I think what, I might be wrong, I'm trying to think of what Courtney was thinking, but I think what he was concerned about was we have some niggles. You know, we've got Rubel who's coming back from a side strike, we've got Mustafiz who's had an ankle problem, he's coming back from fitness. We've got Saifuddin who's been playing non-stop with a bad elbow. Mash, you never know, he keeps going, but so I think what he's alluding to is he's saying that if we need to, we may have to bring in some players, but that'll be if we need to. If these guys are a little bit slow with their recovery, then possibly we might have to bring some in. That's what he's alluding to, and I think that's what might happen if these guys are slow with their recovery. Then the obvious thing is we would bring somebody in. At the moment, they're going well. At the moment, Fizz, although he's not bowling yet, is on target. And Rubel is bowling now, and he's on target. So hopefully those guys will be fine. Saifuddin now has 5 days just to freshen up, and we'll get him through the camp easy. Obviously, he's had a very good domestic season, and he's done well internationally recently. He's now become a very important player in the side. Round a little bit in the Tri-Nations, but we've got to be careful not to, in England we call it get too funky. That means if you get too clever, everything comes crashing down on you. So we want to win ODIs, and so there won't be mass changes, but we might, share around an off position just to keep people fresh for the reason you mentioned. It's a long tour, it's a lot of games, but it's actually the length of the tour, I think, is more of an issue than the amount of games, because we need to keep people interested, we need to keep them fresh, so getting the right balance of practice and training and playing is really important. And when we set the schedule, that's important that we do that, we give them the right space. But also, if you never know in England, things change, you have lots of rain, things can change totally. So to have the flexibility to move things around. But I'm always thinking of trying to keep people fresh, as well as how much practice do we need and when's our game time. They all come into the equation.